Jesus, releasing destinies. This is Celebration TV. Revealing Jesus, releasing destinies. This is Celebration TV.
To 15.7 trillion naira at the end of December 2019.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross offense.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor, Ibikule Amosu.
You're welcome on the news desk on Celebration TV. I am Sherry Quinsley Brimer, and here are the news making the headlines for today. OYETOLA implores FRSC to enforce COVID-19 protocols. Egyptian president hosts King of Jordan and Palestinian president in Cairo. Australia to get Pfizer doses from UK in COVID vaccine swap. Naira sinks to 530 against dollar. Pounds hit 720 naira. Ronaldo released by Portugal after World Cup qualifier suspension. Do stay with us after this very short break. I'll bring you the news in full. I'll be right back. Welcome back to the news desk on Celebration TV, and now the news in details. OYETOLA implores FRSC to enforce COVID-19 protocols. Osun State Governor Adegboyega OYETOLA implored Osun State Command of the Federal Road Safety Corps to enforce COVID-19 protocols among commuters in the state to prevent the spread of the disease. Governor OYETOLA spoke in Osogbo at the inauguration of the State Road Safety Advisory Council, a group charged with the responsibility to reduce incessant crashes on the road. OYETOLA, who was represented by his Deputy Governor Benedict Alabi at the event, explained that road transportation systems remains one of the potent sources of contracting the virus. He further says curbing the spread of the menace would hugely depend on the observance of COVID-19 protocols among passengers and road users alike. According to him, the current administration has continued to give road infrastructure its deserved attention, having rehabilitated and constructed several roads across the state since assumption of office, and tasked the Advisory Council to carry out its duty effectively to guarantee safety of lives and property of citizenry in the state. The 10-man Advisory Council has the State Deputy Governor Benedict Alabi as its chairman, the State Commissioner for Works, Transport, Health, Justice, Education, Finance and Environment. Others are representatives of the State Planning Commission and the Nigerian Society of Engineers, while the State Sector Commander of the Federal Road Safety Corps will serve as Secretary to the Council. Now moving forward from that news, BAYELSA flaunts NASU strike notice over delayed salaries. The Bayelsa state government has faulted the ultimatum issued to it by the State Universal Basic Education Board branch of the non-academic staff union of primary schools to embark on strike action over delayed salaries for a few months and the reversal of members' promotions shortly after implementation in April this year. The government contended that it was not the responsibility of the branch of any union to issue the threat of industrial action, stressing that the true practice of industrial relations requires that a notice could be given only when collective bargaining had failed. The Deputy Governor, Mr. Lawrence Erujagbo, states this during a meeting with the state officials of NASU led by the chairman, Otame Alfred, and the union Super branch chairman, Suwe Aprebo, at the Government House, Yenagoa. Erujagbo says in a statement that the instant ultimatum collective bargaining and not broken down, stressing that even where it fails, the rules of engagement require that the state leadership of the union to give 21 days notice, followed by 14 days notice, and finally 7 days notice before a warning strike. He assured the academic and non-teaching staff of primary schools of government's commitment towards putting modalities in place to ensure prompt payment of their monthly salaries. Erujagbo made it clear that although the state government is not responsible for challenges facing primary schools, it would engage the local government councils to address the issue of delayed payment of monthly salaries. He added that the present administration places high premium on workers' welfare and will take steps to ensure primary school staffs receive salaries at the same time with their state counterparts. While appealing to the leadership of NASU to be a little bit patient with the government, the Deputy Governor, however, urged them to jettison the idea of embarking on a strike action over the issue. He cautioned NASU to be properly guided and should not take the labor-friendly disposition of the Governor Doyediri-led administration for granted. And now in another sports story. Edo PDP trains officials ahead of e-registration exercise. The Edo State chapter of the People's Democratic Party has commenced the training of its officials to ensure seamless electronic registration exercise of new and old party members ahead of the launch of the exercise across the state. Chief of Staff of Edo State Governor Osaigbovo Iyoha, who addressed the officials during the training at Imagwaro College, Benin City, says officials being trained include party delegates and prospective appointees. He says the exercise is aimed at creating an electronic register of all party members to digitize and secure the party's membership data, adding that the exercise is aimed at generating a unique membership identification number for each member. This will be used to track the activities of every member within the party. Addressing the participants, the state chairman of the e-registration committee, Kabiru Ajoto, says the party intends to carry its members along throughout the process of registration, noting that those who will take part in the process will bring more people into the party. And our news stories coming from around Africa. The Egyptian president hosts King of Jordan and Palestinian president in Cairo. Egypt's president held talks in Cairo with the King of Jordan and the president of the Palestinian Authority. The talks were aimed at reviving the Middle East peace process and strengthening a ceasefire that halted the Israel-Hamas war. Egypt's Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, King Abdullah II of Jordan, and the Palestinian Authority's Mahmoud Abbas discussed the elusive two-state solution to the conflict with Israel, according to a statement from el-Sisi's office. The three leaders say the Palestinians have a right to an independent state, with East Jerusalem as its capital. Israel staunchly opposes such a plan. Relations remain tense even though Israel's new coalition government, which includes an Arab party for the first time, has sought to keep things calm after the deadly war in May. Hamas responded to weeks of tensions in East Jerusalem by firing rockets, which triggered a withering Israeli assault on Gaza. And our news coming from around Africa still. Africa risks missing key COVID vaccination target, the World Health Organization has said. The World Health Organization Regional Office for Africa says 8 out of 10 countries in Africa are at risk of missing the globally set target of vaccinating 10% of the most vulnerable groups against COVID-19 by the end of September. Data collected by the World Health Organization indicates that 9 African countries, including South Africa, Morocco, Tunisia, have already reached this target. 3 others on the track, and 2 could achieve it if they increase the pace of vaccinations. In total, 42 of 54 African countries are therefore at risk of not reaching the goal if the current rate of vaccine shipment and immunization continues. According to the World Health Organization, nearly 21 million doses of vaccine arrived in Africa in August through the COVAX mechanism, which aims to provide vaccines to the poorest countries as many as is in the previous 4 months, with those expected to be delivered in September. Africa could receive enough doses to reach the 10% target, according to the World Health Organization. But while many countries have been able to accelerate immunization with shipments, in August, 26 countries have used less than half of their stockpiles of doses. According to the World Health Organization, the number of COVID-19 cases is down slightly in Africa, but remains stubbornly high. The pandemic is still raging on the continent. Right now, we will take a short break. When we get back from that break, I'll bring you news update coming from Australia. Do stay with us. I'll be right back.
This September, don't lose sight of the victory ahead, for the Lord is mighty to save. I prophesy as you hear the sound of my voice. Anyone that is offering sacrifices, cutting the necks of animals to see that your glory goes down, let the ground demand your blood. September to Remember 2021 with Apostle Johnson and Dr. Lizzie Suleiman.
September to Remember is September 8 to 10, and the theme is Mighty to Save.
The Lord is present.
Papa, there is another miracle here. This lady has chronic schizophrenia for 8 years. A severe chronic mental disorder that does not go easily. As soon as you laid hands upon her, her reasoning became clear. She knows where she is, she knows where she came from, and she can speak clearly to the glory of God. Madam, what's your name?
Kate.
Where are you from, Come? How are you now?
Fine.
Healed from 8 years schizophrenia, totally healed to the glory of God.
Thank you, Jesus.
Theme, Mighty to Save. Date, 8 to 10 September 2021. And on the 12th, Nativity Sunday at the International Worship Center, Kilometer 132, Benino Kene Abuja Expressway, Auchi, Edo State, Nigeria. The time is 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. daily. For inquiries, please call +234 806 464 6180. Enough is enough.
You're welcome back. Now we're back on the news. News update coming from Australia. Australia to get Pfizer doses from UK in COVID vaccine swap. Australia says it has secured an extra 4 million doses of the Pfizer vaccine from the UK in a swap deal. Prime Minister Scott Morrison said the extra vaccines will help his country come out of its lockdown sooner. About half of Australia's population is currently in lockdown due to outbreaks in Sydney, Melbourne and Canberra. Mr. Morrison did not give details after reciprocal agreement. Australia has ramped up vaccination rates in recent weeks after drawing criticism for a slow rollout. Mr. Morrison says the Pfizer doses will leave for Australia on Saturday. This will enable them bring forward significantly the opportunity for Australia to open up again. Mr. Morrison's government has drawn criticism for failing to secure more Pfizer doses early on and for not better addressing public concerns about rare clotting from the AstraZeneca vaccine. And more updates coming from United States. Storm IDA, that toll climbs to 45 across 4 U.S. Northeast states. The U.S. President Joe Biden says historic investment is needed to deal with the climate crisis as the Northeast reels from flash floodings to tornadoes that have killed at least 45 people. The United States is facing climate-related destruction across the country and tackling it as a matter of life and death. The president said this. New York City and New Jersey saw unprecedented levels of rainfall. Some residents became trapped in flooded basements and cars. 6 states suffered loss of life. President Biden has declared an emergency in both New Jersey and New York, enabling both states to receive federal funding to support local disaster relief efforts. The impact of climate change on the frequency of storms is still very unclear, but they know that the increased sea surface temperatures warm the air above and make more energy available to drive hurricanes, cyclones and typhoons. As a result, they are likely to become more intense with more extreme rainfall. The world has already warmed by 1.2 C since the industrial era began, and temperatures will keep rising unless governments around the world make steep cuts to emissions. And now on business news, the Naira sinks to 5.30 against dollar. Pounds hit 7.20. The Naira plunged to a fresh record low against dollar, the British pound sterling and euro amid the lingering scarcity of foreign exchange in Nigeria. The value of Naira fell against the U.S. currency at both the parallel market and the investors' and exporters' foreign exchange window. The local currency, which stood at 5.26 per dollar, fell to 5.30 per dollar at the parallel market from 5.28 per dollar. The Naira dipped to 7.20 against the pound at the parallel market from 7.17 per pound, while the euro rose to 6.20 from 6.16 Naira. At the INE window, the Naira weakened further to 411.67 per dollar from 411.50 per dollar, according to FMDQ Group. No less than 55% to 60% of Nigerian forex transactions are traded at this window, which is used by the CBN and most exporters and investors, according to Financial Derivatives Company Limited. It serves as not only a source of price discovery, but also a barometer for measuring potential and actual CBN intervention in the market. Some of the exchange rates rate determinants, balance of payments, capital inflows and trade balance. The FDC said this. And now still on business news. Twitter ban remains, says NCC, as Nigerians lose 220.36 billion naira. The Twitter ban in Nigeria is still in effect, according to the Director of Public Affairs, Nigerian Communications, Dr. Ikechukwu Adinde. Adinda says that there had been no communications from the Ministry of Information to lift the ban. The NCC had sent a memo to mobile network operators and internet service providers to block access to Twitter for the ban imposed by the federal government to take effect. Some Nigerians had reported gaining access to the app without virtual private networks on their laptops. A source in an ISP company says the way blocking works when it comes to the network is a specific site or server or a URL will be put under a blacklist, or an instruction will be given to block traffic going to or coming from a certain server. So a router that sits in between serves as a blockade rather than works as a go-through. It will block it. The federal government had since told the Federal High Court in Lagos that it had not stopped Nigerians from using Twitter. The president set up a committee consisting of 5 ministers to negotiate with Twitter when the Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, as the head of committee. Recently, Mohammed announced that the committee negotiating with Twitter would soon arrive at an agreement. He says everything will be ironed out with Twitter within a few days or weeks. Right now, we'll take a short break. When we get back from that break, I'll bring you news coming from the world of sports. I'll be right back.
This September, don't lose sight of the victory ahead, for the Lord is mighty to save.
I prophesy as you hear the sound of my voice. Anyone that is offering sacrifices, cutting the necks of animals to see that your glory goes down, let the ground demand their blood.
September to Remember 2021 with Apostle Johnson and Dr. Lizzie Suleiman.
September to Remember is September 8 to 10, and the theme is Mighty to Save.
The Lord is present.
Papa, there is another miracle here. This lady has chronic schizophrenia for 8 years. A severe chronic mental disorder that does not go easily. As soon as he laid hands upon her, her reasoning became clear. She knows where she is, she knows where she came from, and she can speak clearly to the glory of God. Madam, what's your name?
Kate.
Where are you from, Come? How are you now?
Fine.
Healed from 8 years schizophrenia, totally healed to the glory of God.
Thank you, Jesus.
Theme, Mighty to Save. Date, 8 to 10 September 2021. And on the 12th, Nativity Sunday at the International Worship Center, Kilometer 132, Benino Kene Abuja Expressway, Auchi, Edo State, Nigeria. The time is 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. daily. For inquiries, please call +234 806 464 6180. Enough is enough.
You're welcome back. Now it's sports news. Ronaldo released by Portugal after World Cup qualifiers suspension. Cristiano Ronaldo has been released early from the Portugal squad after picking up a suspension ahead of his Manchester United return. The 36-year-old scored a world record of 110th international goal as he fired Portugal to a dramatic victory over the Republic of Ireland in World Cup qualifier. Ronaldo's record goal cancelled out John Egan's opener with just a minute remaining at the Estadio Algarve, and he then completed the job with his 111th in stoppage time to seal a 2-1 win. But after removing his shirt in celebration, he was cautioned by Slovenian referee Matej Jog, and having been booked earlier in the campaign, is suspended for the trip to Azerbaijan. A statement on the Portuguese Football Federation official website says Cristiano Ronaldo was excused from the stage of the national team. Ronaldo has expressed his delight to be back home at United and is hungry to create more history with the club. The five-time Ballon d'Or winner returned to the Old Trafford was made official as he signed a 2-year deal with the option to extend for a further year. Former England manager Steve McLaren says Cristiano Ronaldo is the sort of signing that can help Manchester United win the Premier League title. And now on another sports story. Lukaku scores twice in World Cup qualifier. Romelu Lukaku scored twice as Belgium overcame an early scare to crush Estonia 5-2 away and solidified that position at the top of the World Cup qualifying Group E. Lukaku took his record to 66 goals for his country on his 99th appearance after Belgium was shocked when Estonia's captain Matthias Kate stole the ball in midfield and thundered home a powerful shot to put the hosts ahead in the second minute. But FIFA's top-ranked team fought back to reach 10 points ahead of second-placed Czech Republic on 7 points also from 4 games. Estonia are bottom without a win from 3 games. The 28-year-old Lukaku put Belgium ahead just before the half-hour mark, using his strength to walk a rebound off the defense onto his left foot and into the corner of the net. He had his back to goal and was given time and space to run and shoot as he made it 3-1 to Belgium in the 52nd minute. Husto converted a close-range tap-in after 65 minutes when Yannick had dribbled his way into the penalty area. And the latter was the provider again as Fouquet scored his first international goal 10 minutes after coming on. Estonia got a consolation 7 minutes from time as Michael teased his way into the penalty area to provide Soga with an easy finish to bring the loudest cheer of the night. Right now, we've come to the end of the news desk on Celebration TV, and just in case you missed the top stories, here is a recap of the headlines. OYETOLA implores FRSC to enforce COVID-19 protocols. Egyptian president hosts King of Jordan and Palestinian president in Cairo. Australia to get Pfizer doses from UK in COVID vaccine swap. Naira sinks to 530 against dollar. Pounds hit 720 Naira. Ronaldo released by Portugal after World Cup qualifier suspension. And now we are down to the photo of the day. That photo clearly depicts that whatever is produced or created by anyone today, whatever has been produced, whatever anyone has accomplished today was first a brainchild. Be determined and focused. Your idea will materialize. You can share your thoughts about this photo of the day via our social media platforms. On Facebook, we are Celebration TV. On Instagram, we are My Celebration TV. On Twitter, at My Celebration TV. On YouTube, Celebration TV. Always bear in mind that your positive contribution to the wellness of the society you find yourself or the organization you work defines your leadership mind. as an individual who knows what to do and do so without expecting to be pushed has backed his way to success. Be it known today that everything we do, everything we think, feel and believe either has a positive or negative effect on humanity and our national well-being. Make sure you are a part of nation building today. I am Sherry Quinsley Primer. Thank you for staying tuned on the news desk. Goodbye.
To 15.7 trillion naira by the end of December 2018.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing AIM of committing a gross offence.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor, Ibikunle Amosun.